After being knocked into the sea by Kaido, Luffy returned to the fight, urging Momonosuke to fly him back to Onigashima to face Kaido. Momo, however, was hesitant and scared, forcing Luffy to resort to pulling his whiskers to motivate him. Meanwhile, on the rooftop, Yamato was fiercely holding off her father. The two clashed with a powerful blow of their conqueror's haki, creating a massive explosion that drew blood from Kaido. Impressed, Kaido praised Yamato's formidable defense. Yamato declared she would wait until Luffy returned, then created an ice club to strike Kaido, sending him crashing to the ground. Infuriated by his child's continued defiance and their idolization of his old enemy, Kaido swung his own club, claiming no samurai would ever see Yamato as an ally. Yamato retorted that she didn't care, and struck Kaido again. Kaido, enraged, reminded her that she had lived a solitary life on the island with no friends. Yamato, however, revealed that she once had a precious friend, Ace. Kaido, seething with anger, attacked Yamato, knocking her back and relentlessly beating her, demanding she not deny her nature as the daughter of a demon. Below, Luffy was still struggling to get Momo to fly. He pulled on Momo's whiskers, yelling for him to be brave, as he was desperate to defeat Kaido. In pain and fearing his whiskers would be ripped out, Momo finally took flight, heading straight for Onigashima. But his fear of heights made him fly with his eyes closed. Luffy directed him towards Kaido, but Momo, unable to see, crashed into the main stage area instead. The people there were stunned to see Luffy riding on the back of a giant dragon. Momo's panicked flight caused him to repeatedly crash through the walls, taking Luffy on a tour of all 3 floors of Onigashima, much to Luffy's frustration. Luffy, now furious, screamed for Momo to open his eyes. On the rooftop, Kaido felt the tremors and initially assumed it was Big Mom. Yamato, refusing to give up, unleashed a powerful wave of haki. From the sky, Luffy, now seeing Kaido, told Momo to dive straight at him. Luffy activated Gear 4, Snakeman, and launched himself towards Kaido, while Yamato, transforming into a snake-like form, also charged. The combined assault of Luffy's Gum Gum King Cobra and Yamato's attack sent Kaido flying through rock formations and hundreds of meters away. Luffy landed near Yamato, thanking her for holding Kaido off and telling her to leave the rest to him. Suddenly, a loud laugh echoed from behind them. Kaido appeared in his full dragon form, astonished that Luffy was still alive. Luffy's response was simple and resolute. "Because I am the man who's going to be king of the pirates." Kaido demanded to know who the dragon was and if he had saved Luffy. Terrified at first, Momo found his courage and declared his name. "My name is Kozuki Momonosuke, and I will become the shogun of Wano." Kaido, surprised, said the world was too small for 2 dragons, and opened his mouth to unleash a blast of fire. Luffy yelled for Momo to do the same, but Momo was unable. The fire blast was upon them, but Momo, curling up, managed to barely dodge it. Seeing Momo's fear, Luffy told him to bite Kaido instead, then used an elephant gun to slam Kaido's head into the ground. He urged Momo to bite Kaido now. Fearful at first, Momo remembered his mother and sister, and his fury gave him the strength to bite Kaido. The deeper his resentment, the harder he bit. Vowing never to forgive Kaido for ruining his family and Wano, Kaido, enraged by the bite, tried to attack Momo with fire, but Luffy punched him away, praising Momo's bravery. "You bit a Yonko. What else in this world is there for you to be afraid of?" Luffy's words seemed to give Momo a surge of strength, while Kaido was utterly bewildered by these young punks. Luffy then commanded Momo to stop Onigashima, vowing to defeat Kaido no matter what. Luffy's words echoed across the island, igniting a flame of hope in everyone fighting below. Kaido, infuriated, transformed into his hybrid form and unleashed a devastating haki attack that tore up the ground. Luffy, channeling his haki, walked calmly towards Kaido, who insisted Luffy could never defeat him. "As long as I'm alive," Luffy declared, "the possibilities are limitless." The two titans charged at each other, their clash of haki creating a massive shockwave that shook the entire island and split the sky open. Yamato recognized the phenomenon, remembering it was just like the clash between Roger and Whitebeard. At that moment, the earlier blow from Kaido took its toll on Yamato, who started bleeding. Luffy, noticing her injury, told her to go help the coward Momo. Yamato immediately went to assist Momo in holding up Onigashima, but Kaido, still bitter about their previous confrontation, tried to stop them. Yamato blocked his attack, telling her father that she believed Wano's dawn would come. Luffy jumped up, grabbing Kaido's legs to allow Momo and Yamato to escape. Momo, still fearful, fell, but Yamato's encouragement helped him regain his composure. Momo created his own flame clouds and began flying, gently lifting the entire island into the air. Meanwhile, Kaido threw Luffy off him. "If you lose, this entire country will become my slaves again. Once Onigashima lands in the flower capital, I'll destroy everything. You will die here, so I'll be sure to take good care of you," he sneered. Luffy, channeling his haki, charged at Kaido once more. Kaido opened his mouth and fired a blast of fire, but Luffy countered with Red Hawk, creating another powerful haki blast. Kaido knocked Luffy away, but Luffy didn't stop, using haki in his leg to kick Kaido. The two continued to trade blows, each strike creating massive shockwaves. Kaido used his haki-infused club to try and smash Luffy's head, but Luffy broke free, stretching his arm and using Gum Gum Gatling to punch Kaido repeatedly in the face. Both of them were knocked back. Luffy stood up, a grin on his face. "You're starting to get me excited, old man." Kaido laughed in agreement. Below, Momo felt Onigashima shaking violently, but he resolved to succeed. Kaido, now holding a gourd of sake, looked up at the moon and started drinking. Luffy, angered by this disrespect during their fight, was told by Kaido that he was drinking because he was happy. It was the Fire Festival, and the pirates were supposed to be having a feast. Kaido offered Luffy a drink, but Luffy refused, saying he didn't drink alcohol, prompting Kaido to call him a child. Luffy explained he was saving his celebration for when he had kicked Kaido's ass and could feast with everyone. Kaido replied, "Sounds fun, good luck." Luffy, confused, asked if he was drunk. Kaido replied that a little sake wouldn't faze him, before suddenly bursting into tears, wailing that Luffy had ruined his party. He released a huge wave of haki and then, unexpectedly, started laughing and stumbling around like an old drunk. Luffy, frustrated, rushed at him, telling him not to use being drunk as an excuse for when he lost. Kaido stood up, swaying, and said he truly acknowledged Luffy's strength. Luffy jumped up and threw a massive punch, but Kaido dodged it with his drunken bagua technique, then transformed into his hybrid form. "I don't remember the last time I was challenged to a serious fight," he said. He imbued his club with haki and with a drunken laugh used vicious tiger-hunting bagua to strike Luffy. The blow was so powerful it temporarily knocked Luffy unconscious and tore a huge hole in the floor, causing panic below. Kaido, in his dragon form, wept, lamenting his failure to protect even a castle, and mumbled about how he would have to rebuild everything. a process that would take 5 years. Luffy, meanwhile, clutched his face, shouting in pain, "That hurt like hell, you rotten old man!" Kaido, still crying, regretted selling weapons and manufacturing devil fruits. Luffy, realizing he had been too careless, charged at Kaido. Kaido, using Dragon Twister, spun around and unleashed a barrage of blades at Luffy, who was hit but kept coming. Kaido flew into the air, still crying about his son running away from home and fighting against him, blaming it all on Luffy. Kaido used his drunken rage attack, but Luffy blocked it with his hands. Kaido relentlessly struck Luffy and then kicked him away. The two charged at each other again, clashing with their haki. Luffy managed to jump onto Kaido's club, extended his leg, and kicked Kaido in the face. Kaido stumbled back, but wrapped his tail around Luffy, pulling him in for a headbutt clash. After a fierce struggle, Luffy was thrown back, realizing Kaido's haki had grown stronger. Kaido, now angry that Luffy had sobered him up, used drunken fury to blast fire at Luffy. He swung his club, but Luffy dodged and used Gum Gum Gatling to unleash a flurry of punches, while Kaido swung his club back and forth. Luffy took one blow, and Kaido took one punch, but neither stopped. They backed away, and Kaido swung his club again. Luffy jumped and enlarged his leg, kicking Kaido in the stomach, causing him to bleed from his mouth. Below, the combined attack of Law and Kid had successfully knocked Big Mom into a magma pit. On the rooftop, Kaido sensed it. "Can you feel it? They did it! Linlin has been defeated," he told Luffy, a mix of pride and sorrow in his voice. He remembered Big Mom's words, her initial annoyance at his quiet demeanor before she declared herself his big sister and the future ruler of the seas. Kaido, overcome with grief, wept loudly. How could this happen? We swore we'd take the One Piece together. Luffy, now in Gear 4, punched Kaido in the face. "Why didn't you let me have my moment of remembrance?" "You brat!" Kaido yelled, unleashing a flurry of attacks that left Luffy disoriented. Luffy, however, was undeterred. "Don't you dare talk to me about your dreams. Your dream made the people of this country starve. This is my last Gear 4. I'll fight until I run out of strength, and I will get you out of this country forever." Luffy unleashed a barrage of punches, creating a dust cloud. When it cleared, Kaido was surprised as Luffy changed his trajectory in mid-air. "Impossible! A rubber body can't punch like that!" Kaido, now a human punching bag, was at Luffy's mercy. Luffy pulled back his arm and used Gum Gum King Kong Gun to strike Kaido. Kaido blocked it with his club, pushing Luffy away, but Luffy kept punching, landing blow after blow. "Stop it, you're hurting me!" Kaido cried, before trying a more gentle approach. "Please, little bro, you're going to bruise my face." Kaido, in his dragon form, said, "You're not the only one who can see the future." He then bit Luffy, swallowing him whole. Luffy bounced around inside, causing Kaido to feel sick and throw up. Luffy then inflated his body, causing Kaido's belly to swell up like a balloon. Yamato and Momo, watching in shock, wondered what kind of move this was. Kaido, infuriated, yelled, "How can you do that?" Luffy, a living rubber ball inside, bounced out through Kaido's eye, grabbing his nose on the way out. He then released the air from his mouth to fly into the sky. A voice from above yelled, "Gomu Gomu, no!" Yamato and Momo looked up in surprise. A colossal body appeared in the sky, ready to descend. They couldn't believe their eyes, yet they heard Luffy's voice. Kaido, who had transformed into a hybrid form, bit Luffy, but Luffy quickly grabbed his head and tail and used him as a jump rope. Kaido, enraged, breathed fire, burning Luffy and sending him flying. Luffy spun his legs like a pinwheel and launched himself back at Kaido. Kaido, using Ragnarok, jumped up to strike Luffy, his blow pinning Luffy's head into the floor below. Luffy struggled to pull his head out of the hole, and Kaido, seeing his predicament, taunted him, saying he looked like a character from a comic book. "I have to admit, you're putting on a good show, but you're just a kite whose string is about to break. You can't beat me." Luffy yelled, "Shut up! I'm not even close to breaking." But in the next moment, Luffy's body deflated, making him look like a tired old man. "What in the hell is that?" Kaido demanded. "Well then, rest in peace. All of your struggles will become countless legends." "Who cares about that?" Luffy retorted. He stood up saying, "This isn't over, is it? Momo, Otama, Yamato, Kinemon?" Kaido, baffled, said this was a suicide mission. "Do you think something like death can threaten me?" Luffy's heart started beating again, a new rhythm filling the air. Kaido charged, swinging his club. Luffy created a vortex of air and dirt to launch himself at Kaido. Yamato screamed, "Luffy, watch out!" as Kaido's club struck, embedding the shape of the club into Luffy's head. Luffy sped away, but Kaido pursued and struck again, turning Luffy's body into a flattened drum. Luffy bounced up and reverted to his normal form, running around Kaido in a bizarre, frantic dance. Kaido was astounded. What in the world is he doing? He can affect anything around him with his power. He fights with complete freedom. Kaido jumped at him, but Luffy grabbed the rubberized ground and flung it at Kaido, bouncing off its surface to strike Kaido. Luffy's fist pierced Kaido's face, his hand protruding from the other side. Yamato and Momo watched in shock as Kaido's face stretched. The blow sent Kaido flying. Luffy, not sure what to call his new attack, asked, "How's that, Kaido? I'm having the time of my life." Kaido, still lying on the ground, asked Luffy, "Just who are you?" Luffy replied, "My name is Monkey D. Luffy, the man who will defeat you and become the king of the pirates." Luffy transformed his legs into wheels and charged. Kaido, using destructive wind, created a ring of light, but Luffy stretched his legs to avoid it, then bounced off a lightning bolt and flew into the sky, grinning at Kaido. He grabbed a lightning bolt and threw it at Kaido, then used his incredible speed to attack Kaido in the air. Kaido was astonished that Luffy could control lightning. He struck Luffy, but Luffy bounced back, grabbing Kaido and slamming him into the ground. Kaido blasted fire at him, but Luffy stretched a lightning bolt to propel himself forward. The two clashed with a powerful hockey explosion. Luffy, thrown back, gathered the lightning bolts from the sky and hurled them at Kaido, who was forced to retreat. Kaido then used his speed to appear behind Luffy, striking him down. You can play all you want, but having a powerful devil fruit is not enough to conquer the seas. Roger didn't have one, yet he conquered the world. Great power can only be surpassed by haki. Kaido delivered a powerful thunder bagua, creating a massive shockwave. Kaido was confident in his attack, but was shocked to feel a hand gripping him. "What are you doing? Let go of me!" he yelled. He transformed into his dragon form and used blast breath to shoot beams of light at Luffy, but Luffy's grip remained. Kaido added a fire blast, scorching Luffy, but the hand still held on. In the sky, lightning flashed and thunder roared. A gigantic fist, 1,000 times bigger than Luffy, descended from the heavens. This was the fist of hope, of freedom. A giant hockey-infused fist, black as night, covered the whole island. Luffy yelled, "Momo, get off the island or you'll get hit!" Momo, panicked, yelled for him to wait. Luffy told Kaido, "Let's end this." Kaido agreed. "Very well, I accept your challenge." Kaido breathed a superheated flame at Luffy, forcing him to retract his fist. Kaido's body then burst into flames, creating a massive circular fire. "You know, Luffy, 20 years ago this country's hero was killed by me. This place became a lawless land. You're the hero they've been waiting for all these years." Kaido's body writhed like a flaming dragon as he charged at Luffy, threatening to vaporize his fist. Kaido's tail sliced off one of Onegashima's horns, and he blasted fire at Luffy. But Luffy's arm was already coming down. "No way that's happening. My grandpa taught me about that. It's called dragon breath in Wano. Now I'll punch you without even touching you and send you straight to hell." In the sky, a colossal fist and a flaming dragon charged at each other. The clash of their powers shook the heavens and the earth, creating an explosion on a nuclear scale. To make matters worse, Onigashima began to fall as Kaido's flame clouds disappeared. The island spun wildly. In this desperate situation, Momo finally awakened his power, creating his own flame clouds. Above, Kaido and Luffy continued their fierce assault. Kaido threatened to kill all of Luffy's crew, which enraged Luffy. He then asked Luffy what kind of world he wanted to create. Luffy thought of Otama and punched Kaido away. The two continued to trade blows, with the people below giving Luffy the mental strength to continue. "My dream is a world where my friends can eat as much as they want until their stomachs are full," Luffy yelled. His final, powerful punch of freedom shattered Kaido's flaming dragon form and sent him plummeting to the bottom of the Wano country. Luffy smiled, finally content. As Kaido fell, he remembered what King had told him. "I know who he is." "Who?" "Joy Boy. He's the one who will one day defeat you." Kaido fell with incredible speed, his landing creating a massive explosion right next to the pit where Big Mom had fallen. Above, Luffy was also falling, but was caught by some kind of beautiful woman. "Good people have big hearts," she said. Luffy, completely exhausted, fell asleep. Nekomamushi announced to everyone below that Luffy had won. The crowd erupted in joyous tears. The long, drawn-out war was finally over. With Kaido finally defeated, the biggest question remains: who will be Luffy's next opponent? Leave your predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to follow the latest developments with us.